Hey guys, my name is Nate and this is my brother Steven. Together we are Wingman Merch.
Thanks for checking out our video. We put these up about a month after we shoot them. If you'd like to catch any of these videos live, check out our Facebook page. The link is in the description.
All right, looks like we got a good group in here, so we're gonna go ahead and get rolling with this.
Gonna say it feels good to put out information that people are resonating with, feeling that they can go in other groups and promote us, because we haven't really done any promotions with this group. We did want to get that pre-flight done, Trello board done, and then now that the group we changed it, we want to kind of figure out the units before we kind of go heavy on the promotion. We haven't really done any promotions with this group. We did want to get that. But just to say, thank you for all the people that have gone out to other groups and said good things about us. We're going to keep on trying to just give good information in here and hope that everybody gets their accounts tiered up and find success. We have a ton of ideas. We're trying to give the information out in the best way that we can to help the most people. We noticed that a lot of people were at lower tiers, so we kind of feel like we have to have a basis before we can start jumping into other things. But having that nonprofit hopefully shows the kind of information that we have planned for this kind of group, thinking bigger about just your merch account, not just relying so heavily on Amazon's organic traffic.
I'm really happy with this group right now. Like, this week was kind of up and down with other stuff going on, but just coming to this group and seeing people like finding success, encouraging each other, keeping it real. I like this group a lot. It's bringing me a lot more enjoyment than, like me and Steven said, like we kind of just did this to put some of our ideas down. But now that we have like a little community going, not a little community, actually a pretty strong community going, it's awesome to see you guys posting in the group and helping each other out and finding success. So I'm super happy about that. I just wanted to shout out Jen Barney for being like super active in our group always. She's been with us probably since like day one or very early on. It's just been like super helpful, showing people where stuff is and just showing her success. So I just wanted to thank her and helping me out with stuff. She's kind of been my test dummy or lab rat, whatever you guys want to call yourselves, for a few ideas. So just her feedback has been fantastic. And there's a few people in the group, like if you guys reach out to me and have ideas, like I definitely want to try them out. Or there's been a lot of people in the group who've been helping me with ideas that I'm just kind of throwing out, which is incredible for me. So yeah, one-on-one coaching. If there's anyone who's like seriously interested in that, just because there's a ton of content, we do our best to cover like all the basics, but sometimes just having someone watch you while you're like actually uploading shirts and point things out can be helpful. I talked to Steven about that, and we're both open to doing that. Again, we don't know a price point or exactly what that would look like, but we feel pretty confident that we could just, if you guys ask questions, we can answer them right on the spot and help you optimize some of your listings and things like that. So definitely personal message me if you're interested in one-on-one coaching. That's something that we'd love to explore. And then Steven had the idea for a mastermind group. I don't know if you guys can hear him or if he can hear me, but if he wants to touch on the mastermind idea real quick, I'll let him talk about that for a second.
Yeah, just the one-on-one coaching was not something that I was so excited about because it takes so much time to do that. And kind of why we started this group was to help more people instead of just all the one-on-one PMs that we were getting. But Nathaniel kind of broke it down in a way that made sense that we could take it on because we could do like hour-long calls or something like that, so it's like kind of dedicated so we can kind of build our day around it. But more exciting to me was kind of the mastermind because we kind of feel like there's a lot of people kind of at the same level, so if they want a little more one-on-one, we could build a small mastermind team. And I've been part of a lot of successful masterminds, so that's kind of the way that I would rather learn than the one-on-one because you get so much more out of somebody else asking a question that you might not think of. And then it kind of sparks something in your head where you go, oh, I wouldn't even have thought about that. I'm so glad you said that because now I can do da-da-da-da-da. Kind of like when we were doing the nonprofits. I saw some people posting going, oh, I haven't thought about that in a long time, but I do remember this, and I bring this back up. And then they were posting websites and other information. So that's kind of why we want to build a community like this so that everybody kind of thinks together. Now, again, we have noticed people have been reaching out to this and wanting a lot more I guess hand-holding is kind of the thing that Jenny and Ryan always talk about to us. And if you do want that hand-holding, personal message me or Nathaniel. I will be trying to push more of the mastermind. I don't know what he's going to more push, but if it is just a one-on-one, I guess we can kind of figure that out. Like Nathaniel said, we're not professionals. We're just two people trying to figure this out. I've been selling online for 10 years. I've helped a ton of people. I haven't ever quite done it this way, but we are thoroughly enjoying this group. Especially this month has just been like over the moon with just eye-opening experiences. Going to ASD and helping Ryan walk people through ASD and kind of show them how to get the most out of ASD, and just all the positive feedback from that and the fun that I had hanging out with just people talking business. I really enjoy that almost more than just locking myself in a room and doing a whole bunch of business. Working with more people and partnering is kind of where I'm really starting to enjoy business instead of just, now I got another 12-hour day of doing XYZ. I hate doing this stuff, but I understand that this is what makes me money. Like going more towards, I can make money and enjoy this so much more by doing these things. Like this group with my brother, I found this to be extremely fun and be able to like pump lifeblood back into what I was doing, because it just felt like the walls were closing in. I'm making money, but I hate what I'm doing. So this now is like another avenue that we can both do together.
So we've never really just worked on anything alone. That's why our partnership works pretty well together. We're like we just say we're yin and yang, like on a lot of stuff. Like if Steven doesn't want to do something, like I'll try and figure it out. And then when I don't want to do something, Steven will try and figure it out. So that works really well. But just our like personalities is much more focused around like helping other people once we figure something out. And that's kind of the community that we want to build here as well. Yeah,
that's kind of why we're playing around with the units. I feel like that's a better way to help more people. We don't know exactly how to use them, but we're thinking it's more of like a step-by-step. If you do these things, if you want to learn keywords, here's a way to set it up to where you should be able to walk through these steps and learn keywords. If you want to learn art, here's some ways that we can kind of walk you through to learn art. That's the mindset behind it. Who knows if we can actually pull it off. It seems not quite set up for that, but we have some interesting ideas to see if we can make it work.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up earlier about the units thing. I don't know how everyone else gets to the group, but when I click on the group, it like forces me to look at that units thing, which is kind of annoying. So sorry if that's doing it for you guys as well. For us to like test that and figure that out, it just needs to be a pain for another week or two. Not really a pain, just kind of annoying for a week or two. While we wrap our heads around the best way to use that unit. But I'm pretty excited about that because it is a place where we can just put information, and then when you guys like go through the whole unit, you'll be able to hopefully understand what we're getting across, and then we'll be able to continuously add to that. So like when you watch a video, it should get marked off, and then when we add a new video to it, it should say, oh, you have, one more video to watch in this unit or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, so the mastermind idea, Steven talked about that. And then testing the proven design ideas. I didn't talk to this person about it, but I do have someone in the group who we've come to an agreement to test one of my ideas, to test one of my ideas. The idea was to take one of my designs that's selling well, and have them upload it to their account and see if that will help them get out of some of the lower tiers. And then also supply them with enough artwork to kind of flood that niche or niche with other designs that they'll have. So if anyone else is interested in trying this out with us, it'd probably be best if I could find like one more person. But I'm super excited about that idea. I think it's really cool that if I was able to just do a bunch of like one-off designs or like one design per niche, and try a really wide spread of niches, then I could, like in theory, just help a ton of people. Like if this works, if I can get the shirt optimized and selling on my account and proven, then you guys will buy it at a higher price point, but you'll know that like it actually is going to sell, and then you guys can just run that niche. So it is at a bit of a higher price point than anything I've done before, because I can kind of calculate how much money that the design is going to make if it continues to sell. So that's how I'm basing that price point off of. But that was an idea. I would love to have one more person to try that out with, just to have more than one test subject, or lab rat. I like lab rat. I'm going to stick with lab rat. But yeah, I'm super excited that that's in the works. We're going to get that up hopefully tonight and then start testing that out. Yeah, I'm sorry there's so many technical issues. It sounds like if you guys just refresh it, it comes back. If it becomes more of a problem, I might just have Steven drop out and then try and come back in here. But we'll keep moving. I had someone this week ask for pre-made designs, and I've touched on this before. And why I don't like doing pre-made designs. With that, I guess one, I don't like doing that much research. Like if I'm going to be selling pre-made designs, I have to do a ton of research, or at least I would want to do a ton of research to make sure that they are, valuable designs and not just like stuff that I thought was cool or funny or whatever. But also like, I think that's discrediting you guys by having you guys buy like pre-made designs just because like I want you guys to do the research so that you can feel confident in doing it yourself. So if you can do the research, if you can find the landing zones the way that we've showed you guys, if you can pick a design and kind of the style that you want it in, like it feels a lot better for me knowing that you guys like had your say in what the design will be instead of me just selling like pre-made packs. I've definitely explored that before, but after having bought packs from people and selling packs to people, it just doesn't feel like it's as valuable as if you guys were to do the research yourself and come up with the ideas yourself. It's just a lot better. And if you're trying to do that like at scale, I do not suggest buying packs when you're like past tier 500 because you're gonna. It's hard to like dictate what you're. Well, you can't. You can't dictate what niches you're going to be in. So like if you know cat niche works really well and you want all cat designs, but you're buying packs, like it's really hard to tell a person like, hey, I want these designs done with cats. Because that's a lot of research they have to do. So if you guys can do the research and then we do the art, I've just found that has been working the best. So I just wanted to say that because someone asked me again this week for pre-made designs, like, oh, I'll just buy designs if you do all the research and everything. But
yeah, we're trying to teach people how to fish instead of actually giving you the fish. And we want to, and why we want to do that is because the lower tiers are hard, and we understand that it's a struggle. But as soon as you start building something, it's going to get out of control if you keep on looking to somebody else to give you the fish. Because when you have a ton of slots and then you have to be continuously filling them, that is going to get extremely pricey unless you build your own team. And that's what essentially we're trying to do, is show you how to get out of lower tiers, to get those higher tiers, to then continuously fill all your slots and use your merch account as an actual tool, kind of the way that we do, to open up a lot more business, more than just merch. As much as Nathaniel loves merch, I'm not that big of a fan. I really like it as a tool, but I don't really like it as this is what my business is, if that makes sense. I really like using it to position myself to be able to work with the people that I want to work with, but I don't like to spend all my time on merch. I think it's because I'm not an artsy person. I don't enjoy looking at t-shirt art. I don't enjoy any of the other parts other than just the initial research. Other than that, I don't want to do anything that is involved in merch. That's why Nathaniel's running most of the business now. I would say I'm barely touching it other than the research side. I don't think I do anything other than the research now at this point.
Yeah. I'm going to try and drop you and bring you back in to see if that fixes things. So just, prepare for that.
I'll keep going then. Just a few more things that I wanted to talk about. So we talked about my art group. So since we love partnering, I'd love to see this group. Like my vision for like the perfect merch community is just a bunch of people trying to help each other out. So if you know what your strengths are, and if you know what your weaknesses are, just like saying in the group, like, hey, I need help with this. Can anyone, I don't know, help me with research? And then if someone's good with research and they need art and they're like, hey, can you just help, show me what inspires you to do art or how you're doing it? I love answering questions. I love talking about it, but there's so much knowledge in this group. It's not just about, I don't want to make it just about me and Steven. Like, I love seeing you guys help each other out. So if there's a question that's being asked, I want as many people who think they have an answer to that, and then we can have a discussion about that question. So that's why I was shouting out Jen, because she just seems to jump on all the questions and tries to help everyone out and post links and everything. Like, that stuff is fantastic. So I absolutely love that. So if you guys are waiting to get into merch, I approved a lot of people last night, again, that were saying that, and I've seen that a lot. People just getting into this group and they don't have a merch account, which is awesome. Like, there's definitely stuff you can do before you have a merch account. But if you see some of the ideas that we've talked about, and really what triggered this was last night, someone posted about doing merch for like local Facebook groups or local events. And that was one of the ways I got my first like big break, and my aha moment was contacting Facebook groups. So it definitely works, but it's time consuming. So if you don't have a merch account and you're looking for another way to start learning this business, I'd like almost guarantee you, if you do some of the legwork and talk to some Facebook groups and say, hey, I can offer you this thing, and then, sorry, I'm reading chat. If you say, hey, I can offer, or I need help like providing shirts for this organization that already agreed to using merch. If you need someone with a merch account and you post that in the group and just say that, I'm like almost guarantee you that someone in the group is like, hey, I have a merch account and I'm not using all of my slots. Like, I'd love to help you guys out. It makes it makes the deal a little bit more complicated, but it's a really cool way to start building relationships. So that's kind of what I wanted to get after. Like, if you guys need help, or if you want to do some legwork for someone who does need help getting some sales, there's a lot of like cool partnerships and relationships that you guys can build. And it's so much easier to do merch when you have like a group of people that you're doing it with, or even people that you're working on projects to do stuff together. It just keeps you motivated, keeps you inspired. When you're feeling down, like someone else is like, oh, I did this part of it for you. Like, that just feels amazing. Again, that's why I love working with Steven on basically everything that I'm in. But I love partnering with people as well, just because of that relationship that you can build. Hopefully you guys are following me. I'm so bad at like reading chat in the middle of when I'm talking, and then I lose my thought process. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. And then at the end of this, we always try to do a live Q&A. Hopefully there's not a ton of research questions since Steven's not able to answer. I mean, he can answer in chat, but he's not here live with me. But I'll just talk about 2 questions, and then if you guys have questions that you'd like us to answer live right now, feel free to post those in the chat. But one question that we said we'd answer, I don't know if it was today or sometime this week, was about brand names. Someone had asked the question, again, I'm sorry, I didn't pick out your name, but someone asked the question about brand names and what our strategy for brand names is. My strategy is I try to keep every shirt in the same niche, in the same brand name, up to 50, I think is what I've said before. At least that's what I'm doing now. So when I'm uploading, and I know I'm uploading to, like, again, we'll use cat shirts. If cat shirts are selling really well and I want to make more cat shirts, I try to keep them all in the same brand up to 50 shirts, which you can check pretty easily when you click on the brand name. Yeah, talk about brand names. Got it. That is my strategy for it. If you're doing trending things, usually I make a completely separate brand for that. So even if it's a cat shirt, but it's like something that has to do with something that's trending, so cat eclipse, like I would make its own brand for that. But that's the way I'm choosing to do things. I try to keep them paired together in the same niche up to 50. And then like the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, if you guys, I'm not seeing too many questions, so I can rant on this for quite a while because I'm excited about it. So this group is almost to 500 people, which is pretty crazy, seeing as like a month ago we were at like 30. So super happy with the growth of this and wanting to bring you guys something special for when we do hit 500, which I have my fingers crossed that happens next week. So if you guys want to invite a friend to this group and just tell them to answer the questions when you guys get in, I really enjoy knowing who's in my group, and it's also kind of like a test for people getting in the group, just to see if they're quote-unquote action takers. like answering those few questions doesn't show that you're necessarily an action taker, but I took time to write those questions out and I take time to read them. So I like to at least see people put in the 5 minutes of effort to answer them. So that's really the only qualification to get in. But if you want to invite a friend to join the group so they get in, so we can get to 500, next week I'm hoping to do our first interview with a good friend, and it's funny that Rob Anderson's on tonight. Mike Gual, which some of you guys I've even heard talking about in this group, which is fantastic. He is kind of the local merch guru, if you will. So yeah, Mike Gual, he was going to come on and kind of talk about how he's doing merch. He's doing some ridiculous numbers, and he's doing a very different way than the way that we've showcased here the most, which is kind of research and keywords. So if that's not working for you, his local merch idea is just like absolutely fantastic. I've seen a lot of people adapt it. Even kind of what I did with the nonprofit is just adapting kind of what I learned from him. So I'm going to have him come on, talk about his idea. I'm super excited about that. He's been an awesome mentor and just helping me out in merch, and just telling me about some of the crazy deals that he's been able to pull off with like a tire company and talking to some just like really big name brands that he's had meetings with. And he was like, yeah, I've been nervous to like go talk to all these huge brands. So I should explain. Rob Anderson gave us a shout out after we partnered up with him. I believe it was for the missionary shirt that we did. I did some art for him, and I'm so thankful. He shout us out in a YouTube video, and Mike Gual saw that YouTube video and then contacted me about doing some art for him, and then we were just able to make a great relationship. Me helping Mike with doing some logos for local businesses as he's going out and getting their business. So absolutely fantastic relationship. Again, like that's why I love partnering, like the networking that comes along with it. We try to work hard and fast and make sure that everyone's pleased with what we're doing. So we've found that to be such a huge help in this business. Again, because we use merch a lot, we're not fully focused on merch. We use it as a tool. So everyone's blowing up chat. So yeah, super excited to have Mike Gual talk next week. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to talk on, but I'm sure he's just going to talk about like his approach to doing local merch and how he's approaching businesses. But yeah, fantastic guy, has helped me out a ton. I'm super happy to have him as our first like official interview in the group. And we have more interviews coming. Again, we got to figure out the software side of things, so stuff like this doesn't happen. But once we feel like we've got a good grasp on the software and all of that, we want to have a lot more interviews. Just because I've been able to work with some pretty amazing people. Joy Packard, Chris Green even. I mean, I don't want to just name drop a bunch, but we've been able to work with some pretty amazing people in the merch community. And I'd love to have them on and just pick their brain for you guys and have you guys be able to ask questions to them. How do you promote your brand and do you trademark? How do we promote our brand? Our brand is usually based off of keywords. Or landing zones even. We might even use a separate landing zone for our brand name. So that way we can get 2 landing zones for sure in the listing. If you don't know what a landing zone is, you can check out our Trello board. Soft plug. But yeah, that's usually what we're doing with brands. We don't do any real promotion actually. A lot of what we're doing is either like partnerships that we've had and they'll promote it, or it's based off of keywords. So Amazon's organic traffic is getting it. We were running AMS ads November, December of last year. But since Christmas, they messed with the system and we just haven't gotten back on top of that. But yeah, we don't do any real promotion. So, and trademark, I've explained this. Oh, actually, I'll post this. Oh boy, am I going to be able to find it? I'll post it in the group as its own post because a lot of people have asked about trademark. I've been doing t-shirt art for like 5 years, and I just kind of know, which is a horrible answer. But that's like the way that I do trademarks is I can just look at something and know if it's going to be a trademark problem or not. And I just stay so far away from stuff. Like even if I have a hint of an idea that might get pulled for trademark, like I just don't do it. But someone in the group, again, I'm sorry I forgot your name, and I believe the website was like merchtips.com or something like that. I'll find the exact link and put it in the group. He said that it's fine that I share that, but it was like 4 pages full of information on trademark stuff that I definitely think is valuable. I'll have to reread through it to see if there's anything I don't agree with, but yeah, I think that will be really helpful for the group, so I will post that right after we get off of this call. When merch comes to Canada, I can go get into partnership locals. Yeah, Chris, you can partner with people. I mean, you can find people in America too through like the Facebook groups that can use it. And also people that have audiences in America. Like Americans love buying stuff. I'm sure there's people in Canada who have communities or audiences that's solely based in America. So there's still opportunities out there. It won't work necessarily for like local businesses and things like that, but there's still opportunities out there to talk to Facebook groups. And add their influencers, as we call them, even on like Instagram and stuff. Anyone with a like a following on our audience that's based in America can find use for that. Or even if they're doing a fundraiser and they want to run ads in America, like to help out something in Canada. Because, I mean, there's a ton of Canadians who live in America or at least visit. So, yeah. I don't want to get into all that strategy, but you can run like Facebook ads targeted at Canadians in America. So that might be something you can look into as well. There's a lot of ways that you can use merch just outside of the organic and the local businesses. Would you be able to help with design? Maybe pick some random shirts on Amazon and critique them. I've done that. I've done that kind of lightly, and I think it's in the Trello board. I hope it's in the Trello board. I've done that twice. If more people want to see that, let me know. I don't mind doing that stuff at all. I can even just jump on a live call sometime and do that, like as a bonus group or a bonus video for the group, because I do that a lot, just like for myself. So I'm getting better at art myself. Like I'll just go critique other people's stuff, like, oh, how could I do this better? It helps me with when I'm designing as well. So I have no problem doing that. Again, I'm like super happy with this group, just to have a community built around like helping each other, and just everyone in here seems positive. Again, like Steven was saying at the very beginning of this, like we completely understand that like it's not all sunshine and rainbows when you're running a merch account. We've had some people post like, hey, I'm just struggling with this thing, and then they remove it, probably because they feel like they're bringing down the group. But I'm completely fine with like just keeping things real. Like if you have a problem and you want to vent it, if you have a merch related problem and you want to vent it through the group, like I'm sure there's a ton of people who can offer you some advice to help you get over that. Again, working at home is hard just because you can be staring at a computer for 15 hours a day, and can feel kind of discouraging if things aren't working out the way you want. I've definitely been there. I completely understand. So we have some ideas of how to do some more like encouraging posts to help you guys go or keep going. So look forward for that. But if you have a problem, or you know, if you're just stuck and want to vent, like feel free to do that in the group. Like I said, I know it's not all sunshine and rainbows. All right, 2 people asking me to critique. I'll do that again. Not exactly sure if I can pull it off this week, just because like actual life outside of merch is kind of busy this week. Also, merch life is pretty busy this week. But as soon as I get a free second, I'll probably just do that live, and then if you guys catch it, I might make an event. I don't know. I'll talk to Steven about that. Sorry. So I'm just a kid who was doing graphic design, got hired at a t-shirt company to do their graphic design, and then found merch, and now I'm doing this. So I guess I'm a professional graphic designer, but I'm in no way qualified to run a Facebook group full of 500 people. So, and speaking of a group full of 500 people, like Steven was saying, I was trying to do like a whole big event for when I hit 500. Like I'm super happy that Mike Wall, like basically my mentor for merch, is coming on to talk to you guys. I think there's going to be a ton of value there. But my other idea was to do, I don't know, I kind of think it's cheesy now that I told Steven and he thought it was whack. But I wanted to do like a 500, like the first 500 like shirt. I'll just charge like, I don't know what I'll charge. I don't know anything about that. Chris coming through clutch. Chris just posted the link for the cello board. But yeah, the idea is to do like a limited run of a shirt, or I guess it's not really a limited run, but to have a merch shirt up for a while, and then if you guys want to buy it and show that you were like one of the first 500 members of this group, that was my idea. I thought it was cool. I'll do the graphic design work. It'll probably be with my new logo. It'll be even more inspiration for me to get that new logo done. And then I'll make a shirt that says, you know, like 500 Club, we've got your 6, something military Air Forces related, because that's kind of the theme I'm going with. If you guys think that's cool, then I'll do it. If not, I'll just post a shirt, and then if anyone wants to buy it besides me, feel free. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I see a lot of other like communities doing that stuff, but it's probably not the best thing for someone who's trying to teach you guys how to sell shirts to you guys. It's probably a little whack, but whatever. I'm going to still do the design just because I think it's a cool idea. If you guys want to buy it or not, we'll see. So for 500, you'll get to have a Mike G interview if I can figure out the technology to do so. So I appreciate you guys. Again, so thankful for this group. So thankful that you guys are active and wanting to know more and finding success. I'm really happy with the way that things have been going so far this month. Hopefully April will just be even better for everyone in this group. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned, and we feel like everyone's keeping up with all the content that we're pushing out, which is fantastic. All right, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks again. Thanks for sticking with us through all the technical problems, and we'll see you guys Wednesday.